How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On the Ball. Premier League predictions are back, and it is game week 8 after the international break. Only one more to suffer till the latter stage of the season. So 2 down, 1 to go. Then the next one not till March. And we start off with the scores on the door. 65 to myself, 57 to Sim. 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. And the star man, once they pick that man, you cannot pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. Last time out on Predict the Prem, we absolutely smashed it. I think we got about 5
points galore.
Yeah, and the week before that, I don't think we got
each.
Yeah, 1 point each. So let's see how we get on this week.
The week before, everyone was saying, why do you guys have a platform? You look at you guys, you literally know nothing about football. You're only getting 1 point. And next week, both getting 5-pointers galore. It was crazy.
Exactly. You were laughing then. You ain't laughing now. But look, big games this weekend. So let's start off at the City ground. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. The team that orchestrated Ange's downfall. First, they basically beat Ange for the first time in Tottenham.
He lost every game to Chelsea, didn't he, as Spurs manager?
Yeah, he did. And can Ange get his first win as Forest manager against Chelsea, which will be a kind of flip reversal of how it happened at Tottenham? Doesn't look like by our predictions.
Is it do or die for Ange, you think, this weekend?
I mean,
all the rumours. I mean, a lot of rumours. There was one point where it looked like he wasn't going to last that international break.
Yeah.
Deitch was big on the rumours. But he's still here going into the weekend. Although, how much can we read into that? Because Potter did his press conference, didn't he, for West Ham, and they sacked him just before they played. So you never quite know, especially when Marinakis in charge, but it looks like he's going to be in charge for this game.
Yeah.
Do you reckon if they lose, that's it for him?
I don't know. I don't think they can judge it on just the Chelsea game. Like, you know,
I know, but
likely to lose against Chelsea, whoever the manager is, let's be real. But they've got Bournemouth and Manchester United the next couple of games. So I think, like, if they've still got no wins come the end of that Man United game, I think that could be it.
I think it depends. If it's like, if they play well and it's a tight defeat, maybe he'll get away with it. I think if it's a heavy defeat and they play awful, I think he could well be gone.
Maybe.
If it's like a heavy 3-0, 4-0 defeat.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. But look, they've got Chelsea, Porto, Bournemouth away, and Manchester United at home the next 4 games. Ain't looking good for him. That's the reality.
I thought United's in the easy pile now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only easy one. Bournemouth away is one of the harder ones.
It's tough, yeah.
Porto as well. They can't even beat Midgetty Land. How are they going to beat Porto? But anyway, Sim, you've gone for 1-0 Chelsea. I've gone for 3-1 to Chelsea. I just feel like Chelsea, on the back of beating Liverpool, I think their tails are going to be up. Estevao is looking hot. Garnacho looked good against Liverpool as well. I think confidence might be running high in the Stamford Bridge, and I just can't see anything but a convincing Chelsea win, really.
I've gone 1-0. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think, look, everyone knows how much pressure Ange is under. They've started to keep him. I do think the players, you know, when you hear them speak, they do speak with a sense of, like, belief, but, you know, performances are still being, results are still being poor. I do think, like, they're going to come flying out the traps. It's going to be, they're going to try and go and win the game. Look, they're going to play the way that they usually do. And I do think they're going to put Chelsea under pressure. But
say that, they didn't play like that last time, though.
Against, it was away, I guess, away at Newcastle. St. James's played a back 3, didn't they? I do think they're going to go out this Chelsea team. Chelsea, though, I don't see an attack really clicking at the moment. I know they played really well against Liverpool, but I still think their attack is still not quite, like, no Palmer still. He's going to be out till November. I think their fire, and obviously Delap's still injured. I think their firepower at the moment is just a bit depleted. But I do think they'll get a goal. I think they'll win. But I think it'll be a close game. So I got 1-0.
Next up is Brighton and Newcastle. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Newcastle in this one.
I had 1-1, and then I changed it last minute to 2-1. I think that, for me, that midfield 3 of Newcastle is going to win it for them. I think Brighton can really struggle with physicality. They're a very technical side. They like to play good football. But I think when Newcastle away from home, with their kind of counter-attacking style, I can see them holding strong. I can see that midfield dominating. And I think they're just going to shade it 2-1 in a tight affair away from home.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone for 1-1. You see Newcastle, right? They haven't conceded. They haven't scored away from home yet. They've had 3 0-0 draws in their 3 away games, which is crazy. Going to the Amex is difficult for anyone, particularly against a team that are just not doing much away from home. I always fancy Newcastle when they're at St James's, but they do suffer a bit on the road, and I think this one's going to be no different. I couldn't really split them because I think Brighton as well, you never really know which team you're going to get, but I think 1-1 is probably a fair reflection of where both teams are at right now. So I went for 1-1. Burnley Leeds. So I didn't go 2-1 Burnley. I went 2-1 to Leeds, and Sim's gone for 1-0 to Burnley. I watched these two teams play, and I think just Leeds just look more comfortable in themselves at this moment in time. They look more adept to play in the Premier League. They gave Spurs a hard game last time out. Burnley, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they're the only team I can safely say that they're definitely going to go down this season. Unfortunately for Scott Parker. But yeah, I like Leeds. I really like the players that they've got. I think the signings that they made in the summer, I think have all come in and done really well. I think Calvert-Lewin's been a smart signing for them. And I think they're going to get the better of Burnley this weekend.
Yeah, I've gone for Burnley to shade at 1-0. I was toying with 0-0 because we know Burnley, they rely on being solid defensively. Obviously, it hasn't happened this season, but when they're playing against a Leeds side who, yes, have been quite good this season, but you got to remember Burnley's only win this season was a 1-0 home win against Sunderland, wasn't it? And Sunderland have been quite good this season. I think they'll see this as an opportunity. If they know if they can keep a clean sheet, maybe hit them on a counter or a set piece, get in the lead, it might be difficult for Leeds to get back in the game because I think their firepower's done all right, but I still don't think it's anything special, to be honest. And I think Burnley could have the quality, could be able to shut them out on a good day, and I think it could be a good day for them on Saturday. So I've just got a feeling they're going to shade at 1-0 and they're going to keep a clean sheet.
Palace, Bournemouth. This is a really interesting matchup. Both these teams flying high at this moment in time. We've gone for 1-1, both of us. Palace, they've just suffered their first defeat of the season last time out, didn't they? And they've been on a mad run of games. Bournemouth, on the other hand, Semenyo in firing form. They are just smashing teams left, right. Well, they're getting some good results left, right, and centre. And I don't know. I just couldn't split these two sides because it was at Selhurst. I went for if this was going to be at the Vitality, I probably would have gone for a Bournemouth win. But Crystal Palace just have this knack of just staying in games and not succumbing to the defeat. So I couldn't really split them.
I'm also really liking their new signing, Pino. He looks really good.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's made a good start, and I know he maybe could have more goals and assists, but I
started for Spain.
I know he's a regular for Spain. Like, he's a good player. I think it's a really smart signing. It's gone under the radar. Not many people looking at him, but I think he's a good player.
I think we were linked with him at one stage.
We were for a while. He obviously did his ACL. He's come back and done really well. So fair play to Palace. A good signing. I think both teams have actually been quite good defensively so far this season, and I think both teams are gonna. I think both teams obviously fancy themselves as a better team. But I think they're kind of going to cancel each other out with quality. And obviously, Bournemouth play this, crazy pressing system. Palace very much back free, counter-attacking, looks to exploit the space. And I think both teams made good starts to the season, both confident. So, I couldn't split them. Went 1-1.
Yeah, and you're looking at, the away form of Bournemouth. It's actually not that great. They lost to Liverpool, obviously, with a good result. They beat Tottenham and they drew with Leeds. So these are the kind of games that Bournemouth are probably likely to slip up in away from home against good opposition. Next up is Manchester City, Everton. We've both gone for 2-1 to Man City. The Jack Grealish derby without Jack Grealish because he can't play against his parent club. And I think that's going to hurt Everton going into the game. I mean, he's been their talisman. I think he's been brilliant for them. They do have other good players there, Everton, as well, that could hurt this Man City side. But I just feel like something's changing at Man City, and I think they're going to go on a bit of a run, and I quite fancy them for the team to actually challenge Arsenal for this title. And I think ever since moving Gvardiol to centre back, I think it's added a new element in their play, and I think they're looking good, Man City. So I've gone 2-1.
Yeah, I think Haaland as well. I mean, that goal against Brentford, he went into beast mode for that goal.
Yeah.
And how are you supposed to defend in a low block when Haaland's doing that kind of stuff? It's nearly impossible. So I think when he's in this kind of mood, obviously we had a crazy international break as well, scored lots of goals. So I think he's going to be in confident mood. I can see him being a bit of a battering ram with Everton, obviously looking to sit back and soak up pressure and looking to frustrate Man City. I think Haaland will stop that from happening. But I still think City are a tiny bit vulnerable to players like Ndai in the forward line. So I think Everton might get a goal, but I think City will have too much for them. So I've gone 2-1 as well.
Sunderland Wolves at the Stadium of Light. Sim's gone for 1-1.
Yeah, I've gone for a draw. Tight game. Sunderland obviously been fantastic so far this season. Wolves, though, slowly but surely getting two draws in a row, getting into the season, starting to play a bit better now. And I think they're a tough team to play against, Wolves, very physical. And I think it's going to be very difficult for Sunderland to kind of get the better of them. So, but I don't know if Wolves have enough quality to go there and win. So I went for a 1-1.
I kind of feel the same to you, and I kind of Wolves must be thinking like, when is this win going to come? Because last 2 times they've been winning going into like the last 5 minutes of the game, and they've come out with 2 draws. Against Sunderland side, you've got to think like from a Wolves perspective, they got to fancy their chances. They got to get that first win somewhere, and what a better place than a promoted side. And I know Sunderland are doing really well this season, particularly at home at the Stadium of Light. They look very strong, so I feel like both these teams are going to really think that 3 points is going to go their way, and I think when that usually happens, they're going to split the points. But I see a really entertaining game of football, to be honest. So 2-2 at the Stadium of Light. I've gone for London Derby at Craven Cottage, Fulham against Arsenal. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Arsenal. I've gone for 2-0 to Arsenal. When are we going to start talking about Victor Gyökeres, people? 8 games for club and country. Wish he's got 8 goals. He wishes he's got 8 goals. But he's got 0 goals in his last 8 games for club and country, which is crazy, thinking about the goal return that he's had over the last couple of years. But look, having said that, I still think Arsenal got more than enough quality to break down this Fulham side. However, Craven Cottage hasn't been the happiest of hunting grounds for Arsenal over the last couple of years. I think they failed to win in their last 2 visits to Craven Cottage. Marco Silva seems to find these kind of different tactical setups and variations to hurt this Arsenal side. But I'm just looking at Arsenal and I'm thinking like they've just got so much strength in depth. They've got so much quality. I just think this is going to be, a sit-back job, pick them off, and a classic Arsenal away performance.
Yeah, they look a bit unstoppable at the moment, Arsenal, to be fair to them. They've had a very strong start to the season. The only loss they've had was 1-0 Shoppers Line. That was a crazy free kick. So they're so difficult to play against. And I think, even though Fulham have a good home record, like they're very tough to play at Craven Cottage. Marco Silva always makes them tough to beat. But I think Arsenal will just get the job done by hook or by crook. I do think it'll be a tight game, very tactical game of fine margins, but I see a Gabriel corner, 1-0, and I see an Arsenal win. And that's the thing with Arsenal. Like, they do have good attacking players, but, they've shown, to their credit, they can just go and win 1-0 with a set piece and see out the game. They've got that in their locker. And they've also added Gyökeres. I know he's not doing well. They've added Eze, they've added Madueke, so they've added that attacking talent on top of that. And they're starting to look better going forward this season as they have done in previous seasons. So I don't think this is a game where they're going to blow Fulham away, but I think they'll get the win.
They don't really blow many teams away, Arsenal, do they? But they just get the job done. Let's move on to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham against Aston Villa. Sim has gone for 2-1.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Tottenham set up and turn up in this game, because at home this season hasn't been fantastic viewing for Spurs fans. But Moani back in the fold, Kudus off the back of his first goal, Tell off the back of his first goal, and obviously he's been scoring in the international break, Odegaard as well. So we could be seeing a more confident Tottenham going forward. Obviously Javid's a bit more settled now. The clean sheets seem to dried up a bit for Tottenham in recent weeks, and Villa have seemed to be getting their act together. I think it's 4 wins in a row, is it, for them in all comps? So they're starting to, get into the season. They're a tough team to play against as well. I just think Tottenham, they got the bit better quality, fresher ideas at the moment. I know Villa, come back in the season. I do see them being still a bit stale. So I think it's going to be another tactical battle. Both managers, Emre and Frank, very tactical managers, like to see things on the pitch and change things mid-game, both of them. So I definitely see this being a bit of a chess match, but I've gone for Tottenham to shade it 2-1.
Yeah, I feel like with Aston Villa, they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. Like you said, was it 4 wins in a row for them? I've just gone for a 1-0 win. I feel like it's going to be decided on the smallest of margins this game. I think it's both sides really fancy their chance. You look at Aston Villa, right? They've beaten us twice in a row now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's time for Spurs to overturn that and to get the 3 points. And I feel this is 2 good sides going at it. Villa, obviously, contrasting different starts to the season with Villa and Tottenham. But, over the last couple of years,
We beat them last year at the Tottenham Stadium, didn't we?
Didn't we lose 2-0?
No, beat them 4-1.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 4-1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So it was two before that. It was 2 before that that we lost. So we've lost 2 out of the last 3. I forgot about the 4-1.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, I think it's two sides over the last couple of years who have been at like kind of similar quality, with Aston Villa kind of edging it over the last couple of years, where I think this could be a changing of the guards, as you say. Spurs are going to finish above Villa this season. I think we are the better team than them, and I feel like it could be just 1-0, maybe split by a set piece or something, but the clean sheet's coming back to Tottenham this weekend, and we need to get going at home, because we haven't got going at home this season as of yet. We've looked a lot better away from home, but you do look at Aston Villa, their next 3 games are Tottenham away, Man City at home, and Liverpool away. So they've got really tough next 3 games.
Probably the Champions League game in there as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So
Europa League.
Europa League, sorry. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Liverpool, Manchester United. Both gone for 3-1 to Liverpool. Not impressed with either of these sides at this moment in time. I think Liverpool, what have they lost their last 3 games?
3 games, yeah. 3 games. Palace, Galatasaray, and who was the last one they lost to? I can't remember. But yeah, 3 in a row. Chelsea, yeah.
And Manchester United, I mean, they've just been pretty poor all season. Pretty poor for the last couple of seasons. Pretty poor for the last 5 seasons. Keep going. But look, I think Man United might make a quick start to this game, might get an early goal or something, but I think quality will tell by the end of it. Isaac needs to get going. You've got Ekitike in there as well. He's back from his suspension. I mean, I don't think it's going to be the greatest game of football, but I just think Liverpool are going to do the business and get the job done. Like Liverpool, even when they were winning games at the start of the season and they were top of the league, they didn't really fill you with much confidence. They were getting last-minute goals, a bit fortuitous at times, and now it's like flipped and they're like conceding last-minute goals and losing games. But I think against a really poor Man United side, I can't see anything but a Liverpool win.
I agree with you, but I think you're not being as charitable as you could be to Liverpool. They're still playing good football, and they're still opening teams up. And the problem at the moment is defensively, they're very open and they're looking a bit all over the place. But and yes, they are getting last minute winners, and that's turned to last minute defeats. But I think it's not that they're not playing well; it's that they're defensively they haven't got the balance right, and it's causing them too many problems. But I still think I watch them. I don't look at them thinking, "Wow, they're terrible this season." They're still playing good football. They're still creating lots of chances. Isaac hasn't even got going yet. Wirtz is still settling in. I'm not as worried as a lot of people on Liverpool are this season. I still think they've got levels to go.
Mount a title challenge this year?
Yeah, I do. I look, they're still there. They're a point behind Arsenal.
Yeah, it's early days.
Right, but I'm saying we're talking about this terrible. We're talking about they're not playing well, whatever. They're a point behind Arsenal right now. In a start where they've lost 2 games and they haven't played particularly well. That goes to show their quality for me of how good that they are. And I think he's gonna get it right. I think it's going to start to click for them. And I'm not as worried about them. And I think they're going to take United to the sword. I think United are going to have chances, because I still think Liverpool, they're still figuring out how to get that balance in defence right. But I think Liverpool just have way too much in the front line. I think they're going to blow them away. United don't seem to be able to contain oppositions at the moment. They seem to be too leaky at the back. And I think the wait for back-to-back wins is going to go on for Man United.
I think they're the 2 star players in Isaac and Salah. I know Isaac hasn't played too much, but particularly Mo Salah, they need to be doing more. Like Mo Salah obviously has been the greatest Premier League right winger the Premier League has ever seen, in my opinion. But he ain't getting any younger. And is this the season that Salah's going to drop off?
Yeah, but I think that's what I know. Isaac's not a direct replacement for him, but in terms of the goals that Salah was providing, what he got 22 last season or 25. Isaac was brought in to shoulder some of that burden. Yeah,
but also Salah last season wasn't just a goal scorer; he was a creator, and they need a creator on that right-hand side.
Was brought in to shoulder some of that burden.
Yeah, but he's not doing that at this moment.
No, he's not. But it's very early on. Yeah. I think Wirtz is playing well. I know people will call me
he's
crazy.
Having moments. I don't think he's playing too well.
I watch him, and some of the stuff he does, I'm amazed. And I know, it's literally inches and timings, and I think it's just an adjustment period from Bundesliga where maybe he needs to do things that half second quicker. He's got that half centimetre less space in this league than he did in the Bundesliga, and you can see he's like getting a shot off that little bit too late, and he's making that pass a little bit too late, or and he's getting a lot of shots blocked. I think that's going to turn soon. I really do. He's going to start getting the assists. Even when he came in against Chelsea, he did a beautiful assist to Salah, which he should have done better with this back heel pirouette flick, which was incredible. But obviously, it didn't result in a goal, so he doesn't get the credit for it. I think Wirtz, even in this short time, I think we've already seen this is a very, very good player. And I think he'll start to turn for him. People who are saying he's going to be a flop, I think you're underestimating him.
I think he's a top quality player. And I have seen good signs. Don't get me wrong. But I haven't seen enough. I think sometimes he comes on a few flashes and then kind of vanishes out the game a little bit. So he needs to do a lot more Florian Wirtz, and Salah needs to kickstart his season as well. And if they don't, and if this goes on for like the next 4, 5, 6 game weeks and they lose a couple of games and Arsenal carry on winning, there could be like a major gap going into like even the next international break.
Yeah, that's their problem. They're not clicking in. They have to get it clicking soon. But I don't think Salah needs to have like a season he had last season, but he definitely has to, especially if Isaac and Wirtz can start turning it on. But definitely, and obviously Ekitike is there as well, who's scoring. But he definitely needs to do a lot better than he is now. At the moment, he looks like a shadow of his self last season. And I think he's missing a lot of things. He's missing Trent. I think the dynamic of the team has changed. The whole front line has basically changed, and he's kind of adjusting to that.
All right, let's move on to the last game of the game week. Monday Night Football at the London Stadium. West Ham against Brentford. We are both backing Nuno to get his first win as West Ham manager. Sim has gone for 2-0. I've gone for 2-1. We know Nuno loves his clean sheets, and I guess that's what you're going for. But I can see Brentford. I mean, I like the way Brentford are playing this season. I know they're not picking up maybe the results, consistent results, but that Igor Thiago up front, he looks decent. And they kind of just, I wouldn't say they've picked up where they've left off under Frank, but it hasn't been as bad as maybe some people have anticipated. And against the West Ham side, who've been poor all season, Nuno's come in now. I can see Brentford getting a goal, but I think with Nuno's first home game, I can really see that new manager bounce kicking in and him getting his first 3 points.
Yeah, I think West Ham, with the bit quality with Bowen up front, Paquetá in the mood, a bit more defensively solid, obviously, than they were under Potter. I think they should see enough to have the job done. I also think Brentford, they have kind of a main way of attacking, and that's get Henderson on the ball in their own half and play it over the top to either Igor, Jesus or Sade. And I have a feeling West Ham are going to deny them the space that Chelsea and United didn't deny them, and they played into their hands a bit, and I think West Ham won't. So I think West Ham are going to find it a bit more comfortable than those sides to keep a clean sheet. So I went for 2-0. I
feel like with Brentford as well, they need to utilise Damsgaard a bit more. Like last year, he was so good for them, wasn't he? And I feel this year, like you say, they're a lot more Route 1 maybe as they were last year. And I still like them, and I still think they got something about them, Brentford, but they just need to bring Damsgaard into the game a bit more, and I think they'll reap the benefits of it. But anyway, let's move on to star men. Sim has gone for Mohamed Salah.
It's just his record against United. You just can't look past it.
Always gets a penalty as well.
Yeah, so I just went for it. I was thinking, do I want to play this card earlier? But, I was like, I don't think he's having a great season, so I don't even know if I hang on to him, it's going to be a better time. I know he's not playing very well, but I think United at home, great opportunity for him to get back on track.
I've gone for Wilson Isidore of Sunderland, playing Wolves at home. Wolves have been, conceding quite a few goals this season. Isidore, I think he scored in, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he scored in every home game this season for Sunderland. So they are at home against Wolves. So I've gone for Isidore. So that is my pick. And that is our predictions going into game week 8, I believe. Game week 8 or game week 7?
This is game week 8, yeah.
Yeah, game week 8. So let us know your predictions in the comment section below. Remember to smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.